welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl. Heretic Owl. I don't know. I like the way that Heretic Owl sounds versus Heretic Owl. I don't know. Is it the same thing? I hope so. Anyway, fumbling over with words lately. So if you're here, we are continuing on with our messages by Human Design Profile. And this is for the Hermit Heretics. So if you're here, you are a 2-5 profile, or you're like, what the hell is this? Both are welcome. So if you don't know your profile already, there is a link in the description to get yours. You'll need the same information that you need for your natal chart. So just your birth date, time, and location. Human Design is a bit more finicky with the time because it can change some aspects of your chart based on the time. So if you don't know the exact time that you were born, but maybe you have an intuition that you were born in the morning, afternoon, evening, or overnight, or maybe you have heard throughout your life that you were born in the morning, evening, afternoon, overnight, just use a time that correlates with that time of day. And you can play around with it as well. Like, I mean, you can put in a bunch of different times and see if it does change anything, because of course you can always use noon. But like I've done that. I've gone in and just put different times throughout the day, and it doesn't change for me, but it did change for my dad. So it just depends on the day, where the planets are, transits, and all of that. So once you get your once you plug that in, you'll get your body graph. Looks like this without all of the notes on it. So you'll see your type, you'll see your definition, your strategy, your incarnation cross profile, inner authority, and your not self theme, not necessarily in that order. But for the purposes of these messages, we're looking for your profile. Now, it's definitely not the most important thing in human design. I think what I love about human design is that all things are important and they all work in conjunction with each other. So definitely check out your strategy and authority, because that's kind of helps you navigate the world and the experiences that you have. And your profile kind of helps you understand how you go about words again. Sorry. Your profile kind of helps you understand how you navigate relationships and people and those type of things. So I chose a profile to give messages by because the profile is what hooked me. Like reading about my profile for the first time, it was like the first time I had ever been seen and my experience understood. And I was like, yeah, I need to know every effing thing about this. So anyway, last time, we read the background out of the definitive book of human design. This time we're going to read the personal section. So just this paragraph down here and these two. And then of course, the next time we do readings, we'll finish out this interpersonal, and then, I'll bring in some other resources from there. So the personal says, you are someone who craves harmony, and your hermit, quietly minding its own business, is startled when your heretic jumps in to help others. Whenever you step into a room, you meet an expectant audience. There is double pressure of projection and expectation that your special talents can save us in our time of need. You can attract a group or an individual's loyalty, or you can encounter distrust. Not knowing which of these projections you will meet can be uncomfortable for you. The call is unavoidable, though, even when it may prove more irritating than enlightening. You are quite capable of leading a revolution if it is the correct one. Your only real protection is to follow your strategy and authority to determine which calls are correct for you. The correct call transforms you. Ultimately, your reputation depends entirely on your ability to provide a practical, universal solution. Neither your hermit nor your heretic is very comfortable in the world, and you can appear reclusive, seeming to withhold or hoard your personal resources. This serves an important purpose, however, as it gives your energy, natural talents, and reputation time to build up in readiness for that moment when you are projected upon to provide practical solutions when others really need them. Knowing what is practical and living by it in your own life is essential. Your conscious bonding strategy is, I'm shy, you have to break down my barriers to reach me, while unconsciously you are always attracting people to you. Your greatest power, however, is your greatest power, however, is as a stranger of consequence. Love that. So, what's the revolution that you're working on? No, you wouldn't be working on it. But I think that is so interesting, though, that having that ability to lead a revolution, but it's got to be practical, right? So I'm just kind of curious, like, do you find yourself being practical? Do you even think of yourself as being practical? That hermit wants to, I think it was mentioning, like, kind of hide away in its cave, mind its own business. And the heretic, like it was saying, draws people to you. That heretic is going to provide that practical solution. And the stranger of consequence that it was saying in there, it's like, you don't have to seek it out. Like, by living your own practical life, like it was saying, it's like you would be recognized for that, and people would, kind of call on you in a time of need, right? So it's not even necessarily something that you have to yourself go out and look for. We're almost done shuffling here. We're just going to do a 6-card. Yeah. We're just going to do a 6-card spread, just 2 rows of 3. Two more. Here we go. The Queen of Wands, beautiful. Justice, the Fool, the Empress, the Hierophant, and the 6, what is this? The 6 of Cups. And then the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Look how many major arcana cards we have here. Okay, so, I mean, we'll go through each one of these cards. I love, first of all, I love how close in color the majority of these cards are, except for Justice and the 6 of Cups. Like, I feel everything else kind of has the same palette almost, you know, like they all seem very similar to me, which I don't know, I think is cool personally. And like I said, you know, like very cool how, I mean, you know, we have 4 major arcana cards here. Like shit is going down. We start with the Queen of Wands. And, you know, when we talk about wands, their action, communication, there's a lot of passion and creativity that comes with the wands. I see wands as being information cards as well. Like, and you either receiving information or giving it. And with the queens, I see the queens as being, it's like when we embody the energy, because we have to recognize it within ourselves first before we can kind of share it with other people. And that's what happens with the queen. Like we embody the energy of the suit. And once we embody and we understand it and we're living it, right, then we proceed on to the king, where, you know, we can be a leader or an authority in that thing and, you know, kind of share the knowledge with other people. So, you know, all that being said, the Queen of Wands is going to be creative. There's also, you know, like so much feminine energy in this card, and it's the energy, not the gender. You know, and like sitting on top of this lion here, like there's an accomplishment to a certain degree. And even like a level of pride, like, you know, kind of feeling good about the accomplishment or even where you're at in the creative process. And then, you know, we have the Empress underneath that, which is just kind of doubling down on this, you know, feminine kickassery is how that feels. Because the Empress is the divine feminine. The Empress talks about fertility, but it's, you know, like birthing opportunities into your life, or, you know, like nurturing things around you so that they can excel and grow. Right? I mean, like she's holding this flower in her hand here. You know, and just the energies of the feminine, which is, you know, being in flow, intuition, receiving. And I love how, you know, both of these cards, like there's so much foliage and just so much plant life around. Which again, you know, I mean, even speaks to abundance and harvest. So, I mean, like there could be some sort of new level that you're reaching within yourself. This could even be, you know, like reaching a new level either in your job or in your craft. You could just be, you know, like in this, like I was saying, the feminine energy of receiving, like, you know, allowing things to come to you. or even very much, you know, like in that kind of hermit mode where you are just kind of consumed by the thing that's in front of you, like what you are interested in. And maybe even kind of becoming that authority in your, because the thing with that, the hermit, the thing with the second line is that there is this natural aptitude that comes with it. That's why, you know, like with the second line, it talks about your natural talents, your natural gifts, right? But it's also something that you almost kind of need like other people to recognize those gifts in you. Like you would have the second line has a hard time seeing their natural gifts themselves. So, you know, you might just see it as like something that you enjoy doing and, you know, like whatever, I guess I'm kind of good at it. I don't see it that way, right? Like, and other people are like, oh my God, like, no, you are amazing at this thing. And that's where, you know, kind of that fifth line, attracting people to you thing would come into play also. And then we move on to the justice card here, and justice talks about fairness and truth, right? Like we have the feather on one side of the scale and then a heart on the other side of the scale. So it's like determining, and she's blindfolded also, right? So it's like determining your intention. Is it good or bad? And with justice, that it has to be objective. That's why, you know, they're generally blindfolded, so they can't see what's in front of them, so that they can't, you know, kind of bring that human element of emotion and ego and all of the things, right? Like it has to be objective without any emotion, no ego, purely fact, purely what is true, right? And the end game is fairness. What is fair? What is true? There's like I don't know if you can hear like it thundering outside. There's like this storm all of a sudden rolling in. And then we have the Hierophant here. And the Hierophant talks about higher education, traditional institutions, traditional teachings. But it has, you know, I mean, it could be marriage. You know, this could have to do with an actual marriage. It could even have to do with like a court case. Here, like between these two. So, I mean, you could even just kind of be gearing up for some type of hearing or something along those lines. I mean, this could be college. It could be, you know, like you could be deciding to take a course in something. It doesn't strictly have to be through like college or universities. Because, you know, I mean, we have like all of these pages around here. I mean, the space is a book. There's a staircase leading to this long hallway. This has like a history element to it. And even, you know, like with the plant coming out of the head place here. And like I was saying, you know, there's all of these plants over here, you know, like just nourishing. Something is growing. Something is, you know, like kind of even breathing life into you. This could even be like getting involved in like activism. Like, you know, maybe you've been kind of considering that you can bring a refreshing kind of element to something that you, some sort of activism that you have a strong affinity to. And I'm also going to say it, this, you could even be running for some sort of office here. Or just putting your name, you know, like in the running for something. And then we have the Fool here, which talks about a leap. This is, you know, a brand new beginning. This is the beginning of a new journey here. There's a lot of trust that comes with trust and surrender that comes with the Fool, because, you know, there's this light aspect here that she appears to be kind of flying towards. So it's like, you know, setting your compass on the light and just following it, right? Like just literally just going for it. And it does require you to take that leap, to go for it, to start moving in the direction of that thing. And we have the Six of Cups down here, which talks about reminiscing and kind of thinking about the past. It has a child, like inner, I always kind of see it as like an inner child card. But this could just be something that, you know, like you have been interested in doing maybe since you were a child, or just, you know, like when you were younger, and it's just coming back up again. And maybe you feel like you're at the point now where, you know, just kind of talking to your profile, like maybe you feel like you have a practical understanding and can provide a practical solution to a thing. And maybe, again, like maybe that's been there. Maybe you've known that since you were younger, but it's kind of like now you embody it. Now, you know, like you almost kind of understand it mentally and physically. Like both of those things have come together. And then we have the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and the Nine of Wands is gonna go for it. They kind of just like throw caution to the wind, and they're just like, yeah, let's roll. Like, let's go for the thing. There is always like a little bit of a warning that comes with the Knights, because, you know, as awesome as it is to just go for it, right? Like, of course, you know, don't throw all caution to the wind. Of course, use your discernment, right? Like, but yeah, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you have this light again, kind of lighting the way to move forward. And this figure is looking towards the future. So whatever it is, go for it. The Fool is saying go for it. You have what you need. you know, and if this has been something that you've been thinking about for a long time, you know, it's kind of like the time is now. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.